Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Phantom.Strategies. Alright, so it's about 9:30 a.m. Eastern US time. So I want to bring you a quick update for Bitcoin, what to expect in the day. Asian markets are closing in a little bit, and the US market is just opening up here. So, and we are also getting a major snowstorm here in northeast in US right now. So not too much traffic outside right now, but lot of white snow. So that's sometime, it's supposed to be a first day of spring here in US yesterday, but we are getting a snowstorm, so figure that out. All right, so let's talk about Bitcoin. And before we get it started, if you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit those notification and those bell icon so you get this content right away as soon as I post them on YouTube. And again, if you think this is helping you with your trading, with your investing, then please make sure to give me a thumbs up. That really keeps me motivated in doing the video content review for the community, Phantom community, every day. All right, so that is helpful. So let's talk about Bitcoin. We have been talking about this falling wedge in last few videos, that this falling wedge will break, and we need to get over the resistance point, the downward channel resistance point. So let me make this clear. Blow this up a little bit. Okay, so this pink line that the falling wedge, that's what it's called. Falling wedge, they are more bullish pattern than they are bearish. Same thing if you take this thing in the rising, if they're rising wedge, they become bearish. All right, so same thing, like if you inverse that and if they become a rising wedge, they become bearish. All right, so keep that in mind. The other thing that we wanted to bring that up is this red resistance trend line that I have been talking about since 20,000 mark that we made back in December. We have breached that nicely. We are over the 11-day moving average in Bitcoin. We are going, so if you go back to my yesterday's video, I made that call in that smaller time frame, that we will be breaking out of that time frame within 24 to 48 hours, and that's exactly what happened today. Yesterday afternoon, and follow through today. So if I go back to the 4-hour chart, so if you refer back to my yesterday's morning video, I said that this is the pinch action that we will be getting out of it, and I was making the call that we will have a positive momentum higher for this action, and possible run toward that 9,200, 9,400 mark. So what we are seeing right now, exactly that's what happened yesterday. We got out of this pinch action perfect, like this was a picture perfect. Lot of time when you see this kind of action on there, on a nice volume uptick and a breakout, it tend to have a follow through. So now we are exactly in a kind of similar pattern. If I make this thing again, let's say if this is the break, okay, so it does have some wiggle room to go up and down, but it will have resistance too that we need to get through. So can it go toward that 9,400 mark? Yeah, absolutely, but we need to overcome some of the resistance. If you look at this chart back a few days ago, if you see this junction right here, I'm gonna point this out, mark it right here. See that junction right here? So what that is a lot of push and pull action took place in that area. That was a congestion zone. What do I mean by congestion zone is because there was a lot of push and pull action that took place from the buyers and the seller that will act as a somewhat resistance when we try to go up. All right, and then we have a major resistance around 9,400 that will also act as a resistance. So clearing this 9,000 to 9,400 level, it won't be as easy, and it will act as somewhat resistance to push it up, because buyers have been coming in since that 7,200 mark, and we have a nice uptick so far. So if we are having, so the buyers will get exhausted at some point, just like sellers got exhausted at some point. Buyers will get exhausted at some point, and we might see a small retracement and then perhaps a push higher. So the question is, the retracement, we want to keep it limited to the support level, and we need the buyers to come in sooner rather than later to push it toward 9,400 mark. All right, so keep those things in mind. Just like, you know, seller got exhausted at the down run, buyer will get exhausted at the up run. So we need you know, the retracement will occur in this zone, in 9,000 to 9,400 levels, but we need to make sure that retracement doesn't follow into you know, something major. So far, looking at the media news, I don't see anything that really strikes as a, you know, crypto tax policy needs global clarity. I mean, all these things are, you know, there might be a negative, look like a negative news in short term, but trust me, these things are much more positive for the longer run, because they are legalizing whatever, like before it was an underground thing, it was like an underground like economy. Now it's becoming Main Street. So imagine the people who are been sitting on the sidelines, people who have been very skeptical about Bitcoin, people who have been calling it a bubble all this time. They will try to, you know, try to test the water. They will try to come in and they'll be like, oh, this might be something, you know, it's worth investing in, you know. So there are a lot of people who are on the sideline. So all this thing is a short-term pain. Yes, it's given, those are given things, but in longer run, it, you know, really puts a lot of value, and it really brings a lot of confidence in the market, which is much needed for the crypto space. All right, so talking about Bitcoin, so as I mentioned, the buyer will get little exhaustion right here from 9,000 to 9,400 point. It won't, I don't think it will be as easy, but if we can push through this level, that will be a very, very bullish sign. All right, because we have this major resistance, and 9,400 will act as a resistance for a time being for next few days. So something that you probably want to do is, if you got in early enough, if you got in at the bottom, you probably want to, you know, thinking about putting your stop losses, maybe like put a stop losses on 50% of the position, or even 100% of the position. That's really up to you. You have to make the call. Whatever you hear on from this channel is completely educational, and you want to, you know, I want to reiterate myself. When I say something, don't just blindfoldedly go in and buy something just because I created a video on it. That's just a stupid thing to do. I'm sorry, but that's really stupid thing to do. I mean, what I'm trying to, that's completely go against what I'm trying to teach you here. Because like what I'm trying to teach you is, do your, like, you know, learn from these things. When I'm talking about it, learn from these things. Do your own research, do your due diligence, and then you make your call. Because I cannot like be there to, like, you know, make the call for you or pull the trigger for you in your account. I don't have your account username and password. I cannot come and pull the trigger for you. So I'm being honest with you. I'm not trying to, like, you know, kind of like show you the moon and, you know, promise you the stars. No, I mean, you can go to a different channel and you can get all those stuff. Here I'm going to be realistic. I don't care if you like it or not, but I'm not going to sit here and make irrational calls and tell, like, promise you something that is not real. All right, so whether you like it or not, that's how it is, and that's how it's going to be. So here we are sitting at 9,049, and there will be some resistance that you will see from 9,000 to 4,000. So the reason I'm calling the 4,000 is going to be a resistance. Let's go back. Okay, so I will show it to you. So on what was this date? February the 26th, we had a major dip, and it found a major support around that 9400 level. Again on March 8th, we found a major support. Resistance was found around March 10th. So that level has been tested as a support and resistance more than a couple of times, and you can bet that it will act as a resistance going up, just like it was acting as a support coming down. All right, so clearing this up, still there is a bulls do have an a strong case. That hasn't changed. I'm not like I'm not going to like start calling it like that we need to just push everything into cash, but I do wanna make sure that people are like thinking about putting the stop losses. People are thinking about, maybe if you're not comfortable putting your stop losses, then taking some profit, maybe like 50% of your position when it comes to like this 9,094. Sometime people ask me like they're like, oh my god, I should have kept it here. I know it was all the time it was gonna go up. I mean, see, those kind of things, I mean, I have been trading long enough, and I have seen all those things, all those questions that you have in your mind. Trust me when I tell you that I have gone through them. I have gone through them, all the ups and the highs and like extremes. I cannot like it's just like a lot of things have gone past, and the things that you will want to learn for the longer run is something, those principles really do help you, and they're really there to like help you in the longer run. All right, I know traders who have made $250,000 within a year from like 10,000, 20,000, but they lost it all because they did not have good strategy or proper principles and all that good stuff. So you wanna be very careful on those things. So all right, enough of that. So just to recap, we will see some resistance from 9,000 to 9,400, and we need if we get through those levels with a good volume, that's a very positive sign for Bitcoin. All right, but keep that in mind that this levels will not be easily it's not going to be walk in a park, because a lot of support and resistance took place on those level. So that same thing will happen when we are trying to go up. It will act as a resistance. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys, on Bitcoin, and I will do some altcoins later today or in the evening. All right, thank you.